Hi there, folks. Today I'm here with my editor, Billy. Say hi, Billy.
I've been held hostage. Please help.
Alright, so we're both here today with our glasses of water, wearing our Ushankas, and ready to talk about the only other thing that's more Soviet than the TTT pistol. That being the many variants of the Kalashnikov Rifle. And which one is the best one? This is going to be a long video.
Yes, it is.
Now that we're having our second sip of water, let's get to our first question. So there's been roughly or so 30 Russian-made variants of the Kalashnikov since its first iteration in 1949. Which Kalashnikov variant do you think is the most iconic and why?
Well, it's the AK-47, obviously. Do you have brain damage or something? Have you not heard of the AK-47?
Why do you think... why do you think the AK-47 is the most... Technically AK-48. AK-48. Why do you think is the most iconic and why?
I think it's iconic just because it's been mass-produced and, spread throughout the Middle East, and that's what everybody in the Middle East has been using for a while now.
Yeah, because, it was Russian Soviets came by, tried to invade Afghanistan, and then Afghanistan was like, hey, no! And then Russia was like, oh dear, and then they left a bunch of their weapons behind, so now it's just like, oh, now we use AKs. Because they're cheap to manufacture.
And then you get the weird, like the bolt-action AK from Khyber Pass. Because people want that.
Alright, next question. Which Kalashnikov variant would you consider, least useful variant? This can be for any reason. You think of, lack of practicality, high recoil, too high of a fire rate, literally anything.
Probably the APDS. Which is, I think it's called the APDS, I can't remember. But it's it's supposed to be for, underwater combat. Yeah. I can't remember. It's supposed to be for underwater combat. And it has basically no use on land. So it's literally just for underwater combat only, which itself is pretty much obsolete.
Yeah, because, you don't see Russians going underwater just oh, these fish people, they're swimming, we need to shoot them.
Yeah.
Mermaids!
That was the worst Russian accent ever, by the way.
Oh, I wasn't even sure. The fish people underwater, the cheeky-breaky, dumka.
You're a disgrace.
Which variant of the Russian-made Kalashnikov, besides the AK-47, 48, 49, do you think inspired other countries to make rifles of their own that pretty much included aspects that were stolen from the original design?
I think it was the AKM, because the AKM is basically the most, it has, the most amount of units out in the world right now, and also it works very well.
Yeah, because, there's guns like the Chinese Type 56, which are just,
They're like Kalashnikov, but
yeah,
I can't say that.
They're like the Kalashnikov, but they're like the Kalashnikov, but
bad.
Chinese.
And bad.
And bad. Then there's also the Galil and the Polish FB Tantal, which is basically just Kalashnikov but black and plastic and made in the 70s. It's like the AK-74 except not made out of wood. And now that we've gone through all of these more or less arbitrary questions, let's let's get to the most important question.
Don't you think we could have just done this question first and then ended the winter here?
It's called filler. It's what makes this at least 3 minutes long. I'll give you back my phone, you communist. Alright. Alright, back to the final question. Out of each Russian-made Kalashnikov variant, which one do you think is the very best variant?
Well, my criteria for a good Kalashnikov has to be, they have to have Picatinny rails, which means that you have more accessibility for attachments. It has to have a high fire rate, self-explanatory. It has to be in 760 by 39 because
That's fair. 7.62 by 39 is superior.
yes, to the 545, although it makes you got a little bit heavier. And the gun that would have all three of those features would be the AK-108.
You sure you're not the 1940, not the 1954, 55 issue AKM, AKS 74?
No, those are just
No?
okay.
Okay. Well, today was somewhat productive.
This was pointless.
Okay, today wasn't productive at all, and we've spent however long discussing something that should have taken 30 seconds to a minute tops. Goodbye!
Wait.